Good morning, traders. Gates W. Adams here. I am your host, and we are back with another episode of the Trader Bacon Show. Welcome back. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with us today and sharing some thoughts and feelings about trading. I got a couple of cool things that I want to share with you today. First of all, next week, if you happen to be in New York, the Apex Trader Funding guys will be at the Benzinga FinTech Deal Days on November 13th. You can get all of the information on that right there on the homepage at benzinga.com. Just scroll down just a little bit. Along with the Apex Trader Funding guys, there are we're going to have Boris and Kathy from BK Forex at the booth with them there. So make sure you get a chance to go check them out. Introduce yourselves. Let them know that you're a watcher of the Trader Bacon Show, and go by and say hello if you happen to be in the area. Also, after last week, we had I had a little promise out there because I had Daryl on the show, and with some stuff that was going on behind the scenes, we weren't able to give away the evaluations last week. So we promised 6 out today. So we want to get you guys registered early. You can see right there in the chat the form where you sign up for the giveaway. We are giving away 6 evaluations today, so please make sure to go in there early and get that filled out so that we can get you in that drawing. We'll be giving those away at the end of the show today as well. So today we have trader and coach Stefan, who is going to share some of his insights with us about how he has been able to trade successfully as a funded trader with Apex Trader Funding. And of course, as you know, bring home the bacon on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show.
Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Are you ready? Because the Trader Bacon Show starts right now.
What's up, Stefan? Welcome to the show.
Hey, Gates. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's great to be here. I have to make the quick comment. We've got your Instagram on there, and obviously that's kind of a fun one there, Stefan Urkel. We're going to share some great insights today, and I know that you actually have had the opportunity to coach some traders as well. And as we go through here, just want to encourage anybody who sees anything that might resonate with you, make sure to reach out to him on Instagram, and he can share some of that information with you guys as well. So thanks for sharing that with us. But let's get into the meat today, man. Let's talk about your history. How long have you been trading now?
Oh, man, I've been trading since 2021.
Okay.
Towards the start of 2021, around March, April. Yeah, around that time, yeah.
2.5 maybe. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what brought you into the world of trading?
So that was like around the thick of COVID. Mm-hmm. And I work a full-time job. And at the time, the company I work for laid a bunch of employees. And it got me thinking, that could have been me. You know, if I had lost my job then, what would I have done? Because I had no alternative way of income, nothing to fall back on. I just had just one stream of income. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I got to find something else. I got to find a way of supplementing my income just in case anything happens. You know, you never know the future. So I work from home full time. I needed something that would allow me to be flexible and not also miss out on time with my family. I've got a wife and I've got 2 kids. I didn't want to do like, Uber Eats or something that required me working after I got off work. Something I can like just, check my other computer. Okay, where am I at? And multitask. So trading came into mind. And
now,
I found trading.
Did you actually know some traders, or was this something that you were kind of just Googling different
ideas? This is something I was Googling. My first Google search was, what can I easily do that will allow me to continue my full-time job? And one of the main results was trading. I was like, interesting. Now, I had known, in the company I work for, I own a few stocks, but they just sit there and they just grow in value. Other than that, I had no other knowledge of trading, nothing, no options, just works, company stocks, even crypto. I had of Bitcoin, but I had never gotten introduced to any of that. I didn't even own a stockbroking account at all. So I was completely new.
completely new, fresh, nothing to it. Okay, so ultimately, what did you find? How did you learn how to trade? What was the strategy for you? Were you the YouTube guy? Did you buy somebody's program? Did you take?
I knew. So there's a lot of content out there on YouTube, and it's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming. So, but I knew I was serious about it. I knew I needed to find a mentor. I needed someone who would teach me how to do this. Someone who knows his stuff. Someone who'd been successful. And I found my mentor at that point, and I've been with him ever since.
Now, what do you think that did to your learning curve in terms of actually getting to the point of consistency, competency, and then ultimately profitability?
Oh man, so it was a lot of learning because I had to start from scratch, ground zero.
Right.
But I think I was very dedicated to it. I wanted to be successful in this, not just for me, but for my family as well. Having that extra income till I go on vacations and without touching my main stream of income, I wanted to be very successful. So I put in a lot of, after work, put in a lot of learning over hours, learning at nights, studying the market, and just concentrating on it. Huge learning curve, but with dedication, with knowledge, with the wanting to learn, it became, I wouldn't say quite easy, but that knowledge became instilled in me, and picking up stuff, learning became pretty easy. Now, the major learning curve was discipline, risk management, discipline. Right. That's one that I had to almost learn sometimes the hard way.
Look, I don't know any other traders who have struggled with discipline or the mental game of trading, but I've heard rumors that it exists out there. So sounds like you've actually taken some great steps. So what was it for you that actually brought you through that threshold out of the normal new trader? Obviously, I'm being facetious. That normal new trader, get too excited, take a trade you shouldn't, take a trade longer than you should, whatever the case was for you. We've all gone through that. What was it for you that got you past that?
So obviously you can't learn unless you learn the hard way. In my community, my group of traders, a fellow coach of mine has a famous saying, you touch the fry pan or the hot pot too much, you're going to want to stop touching it, right? So when you lose too many times or you break your rules too many times, you're going to get to a point where you decide, I can't do this anymore. I got to stop breaking my rules. So you come up with a way, it almost becomes second nature, where your rules become ingrained in you because you've suffered through it.
Right.
That's every part of a trader's journey. They need to go through a suffering phase. Another one was willing to accept failures and correct it, not blame it on the system. I've seen people who on the Apex community who blame things on Apex, like servers are down, data feed, blah blah blah. That's why I blame it. No, you gotta prepare yourself before you get into every trade. You gotta check all your systems, all your check marks, and be willing to know that I'm getting in this trade. That if I get in this trade, I might lose a certain amount of money, and almost like believe that this amount is already gone. Even before you get into trade, like calculate your risk. Like, okay, my risk is $300. This $300 is already gone. I got to forget about it. That way, when you get into trade and you lose, you're like, okay, cool, on to the next trade. If you win, fantastic, on to the next trade.
That's awesome. And I'll tell you, I started trading again at the beginning of the year. And over the course of the year, I've blown my accounts a few times. And I can say without exception, literally without exception, 100% of the time, every time I got to the point of blowing my accounts, it was because I let go of my rules and I kind of went cowboy.
Right.
And that's just something that you can't do in trading. And I love the example of the hot pot, man. We all look, when we learn the hard way, we learn faster. It's not that we can't learn the other way, but definitely faster. And hey, Marty, thanks for joining us for the first time. Glad to see you here. All of you guys, definitely glad to see y'all on here. We appreciate you guys hanging out and spending some time with us. Now, Gerald, let's talk a little bit about your routine and kind of getting started in when you start your trading day. What is your routine before you actually execute a trade?
All right, so my routine is the same as our community. Even before we even start our trading day, we've developed planned areas. We call it planned areas. These are areas on the chart that we look for a trade. Anything out of that area, we don't even bother looking at it. It's all white space. It's all empty noise. We don't take a look at it. I come in the morning. I have my planned areas already developed and ready to go. All I do is I just set alerts on my planned area. So let's say price is outside my planned area. I set alerts on my planned area, and then I go get a cup of coffee. I work on my full-time job, and if my alerts don't go off during that entire day, I don't take a trade. That's okay. You know, you don't have to be a day trader. Isn't taking trades every single day. A day trader is someone who opens up a trade and closes a trade that same day. So you can go through a week without taking an entire trade, and that's okay. If my alerts go off, I come in, I take a look at the chart. Okay, I'm in my planned area, and then I start looking for my setup criteria, my entry criteria. If it doesn't develop, that's also okay. If it blasts price, just blast through my planned area, goes on to the next one. I look for trade in the next one. If my trade entry gets set up in that planned area, I take a trade. It's more. It's just routine. It's something that I've taken away the emotion out of it. It's just a set of guides. Just follow the guide. Follow the guide. If it doesn't manifest, that's okay. If it does, take the trade. Don't be afraid to take the trade.
No, knowing the biggest challenge is obviously being that. Okay, so looks like we're having a little trouble with the screen share because we wanted to take a look at some charts. So can you actually unshare the screen and then hit present and share it again? We seem to be having a little trouble popping up.
Let me try that. So stop sharing.
Yeah.
And then present.
As much as we try to fix these things beforehand, sometimes things just go a little haywire. So thanks for bearing with us, folks.
All right.
We can get this baby back up here and see if we can get a visual look at what we're talking about. Okay, perfect. Okay, Stefan, so let's take a look here. So you're talking about, so you've got these zones and these regions where you're looking for a trade. If it's not there, you're not looking for a trade.
Right.
And of course you have your alert set up. Now, one of the things that I love about what you shared is having these alerts, which means that you don't necessarily have to be sitting there watching your
exactly
go to work. Or
it's ease of mind. I'm not stressing out. Set my alerts. Go do stuff.
Now, when you get an alert, does this mean run as fast as you can back to the charts, or do you have a minute?
I have more than a minute. So and I can go into a little bit of a detail. So
show us.
As you can see my chart, I've got I only work with a 1 hour chart and a 5 minute chart.
Okay.
The 1 hour I use, so my strategy is price action. I work with 1 hour supply demand blocks. That's it. I don't have, as you can see, I don't have any indicators on my chart. It's basically a naked chart. I have some resistance, daily resistance and support lines, but most of my strategy involves working with my 1 hour planned area, my supply and demand block. So I set my alerts for entry into my support and for entry into my demand at the bottom. Now, when price, so I'm going to go back in time a bit. I actually took a trade this morning. That was a successful trade. So when price gets into my supply, since I work on the 5 minutes, I have at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
Well, to get from wherever I'm at to my chart.
Right.
I have 5 minutes, and most of them I have a lot more than 5 minutes. So like price goes in here, my alert gets triggered. Okay, it's dangling. It comes out. So my strategy involves supply within supply or demand within demand. So 5 minute supply within 1 hour supply, or 5 minute demand within 5 minutes 1 hour demand. And I'm looking for a market shift. So I'm not just taking a trade as soon as price gets in here and I'm going to rush and take a trade right away. I need to see a market shift. And by that I need the previous demand block on the 5 minutes that I need it to get broken. I need price to close under it before I can look for a trade. For an example here, and I'm not going to take too long on this, prior to price getting to my 1 hour, I had a demand on the 5 minutes right here. So from this point, price gets in here. I also set another alert right here. I set an alert at the bottom of this demand right here. So I have all this time here. I'm not like rushing. I have all this time here for price to come back here. Price triggers my alert here. I'm like, okay, let's see. Is price going to close under it? No, price didn't close under it. Price goes back in here. Okay, so no trades. Price breaks my high, and this is why I like this strategy. You see this 5 minutes small market shift here, you think I'm going to get in. I'm going to take a trade. Prices reverted, right? You think that. But no, I still have this demand here. What this is price reacting from this demand. So we're still in a bullish trend. So we create a new high here. Once we create a new high here, I still leave my demand block right here. We break it here. And we don't just break it. Price finishes below it.
Okay.
Obviously, market ends. This was last week, Friday. Market ends. Now, this is where we have a loose strategy, a loose criteria, or a hard restrictive criteria. Because the market ends, I can decide I'm going to get rid of this supply block here and just not take a trade here. But this is my supply block.
Okay.
Once the last demand block price gets closed under, I look for the highest supply block, the high point of that move, which is right here. So Sunday night, Monday, price comes all the way here. This is the trade I take. Boom, hits it, picks up my order. I do a strict 2-to-1 ratio, risk-reward ratio. I have my risk above that high point by 2 ticks. If price breaks above it, there's obviously this price finishing above this high point invalidates my trade. I get out. That's my risk right there. I don't go past this and try to like extend it and hope that price gets reverses at this point. I went through that the hard way, hoping price reverse. So I had to learn, that a stop loss is a stop loss, right? Stop loss is a stop loss. So 2-to-1 right there, boom, trade entry at what is that, 8:30? Actually 8:30 market open, close it within 10 minutes, 2-to-1, winning trade for the day.
So 10 minutes you're out. You're at a 2-to-1 risk ratio. Now, is that how you calculate that target? As long as that target is within that lower region, is that where you're going to set that?
My profit is just 2-to-1. What I'm calculating is my risk, and I'm just doubling it
based on that 2 ticks above.
Yeah, 2 ticks above my supplies block. Yes.
Got it. And then so you just double that, and that becomes.
I just double that. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, that's pretty simple.
Pretty simple, basic, straight to the point. I'm not trying to like complicate things. It's a strategy that anyone can learn. Anyone can learn as long as you understand market shift, price action. This is a strategy that anyone can learn.
Now you're trading,
and I teach it.
now you're trading the E-minis here. Is this something that you would trade on other markets, or is this something that you feel is more specific towards? Yes,
I like it's not. You can apply to any market actually, but I like it on ES especially. I've tried it on NQ, and it works on NQ. Price moves a lot faster on NQ, as you know. But I'm not usually in a rush. I've held a trade for 30 minutes, an hour. I use NinjaTrader, so I use the ATM where I set my stop loss and my profit target, and I just let it do its thing. Once I'm in, I can walk away, whichever hits first, 2-to-1, all or nothing.
For the guys that watch the show a lot, you guys know I can't stand being in a trade more than 30 seconds. That's probably something that I need to think about and work on because there's obviously value in the different approaches, which is the whole reason we do the show in the first place. That's awesome, man. Okay, so based on your strategy, I mean, do you keep your stats? I mean, are you pretty aware of kind of what your wins are?
Oh yeah, yes, I keep my stats. Yes.
So do you mind sharing like your typical win ratio?
Right now my win ratio is usually on an average around 75% win ratio.
Wow. Yeah. With the 2-to-1. See that? I think that's where it gets to see 75% is great.
Yeah. The reason why is because I'm not taking hundreds of trades. I'm not messing up my win. I'm not just taking random trades every, white space. I'm not just like open up the chart and like, I'm just going to go take a random trade. No, I have specific areas and I have a strategy that I work with, and a strategy that has been proven to be successful. So hence the higher win rate. And I can go, and this is where patience and discipline comes into place. I've gone an entire week without a single trade. Without that discipline and patience, I might start fidgeting like I need a trade. And I take a random trade and I lose it, skewing up my win rate.
Exactly.
And crap, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that?
For sure, we have absolutely all been there, and that is definitely to me that has always just been the biggest struggle or the biggest challenge, I guess, if you will. I mean, if you can overcome that challenge of that, hey, I got to take a trade, or hey, I'm going to let this one roll, or I think I can make it back. I mean, look, it's the age-old story of traders, and that discipline is. I don't care what your strategy is. I don't care what your norms are. That's, to me, the number one key to success as a trader.
Right.
And it sounds like this has been a system that's actually worked out really, really well for you as you continue to grow and develop. Now, that brings us to the question of, so you actually are now coaching and mentoring other traders, kind of like you were when you first started a couple years ago, right?
Exactly. Yes. I started off as a student and I stuck around, and I guess my mentor was pretty impressed with me, and he made me a coach. And I've been a coach ever since.
So you're actually still coaching with the same mentor you started with?
With the same mentor, yes.
That's cool. That's cool. So how long have you been coaching?
I've been coaching for about around a year and a half.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, so okay. So you're trading for about a year, and then you move into
coaching. It came really quick to me. Again, it was that I really wanted to. So once I set and this not just applies to me, this can apply to anyone. Mm-hmm. Once I set my heart on learning this and understanding this, and I do it. I go all the way. It's also what's made me successful at my full-time job. I set my heart on it. I learn it. I become really good at it. I start teaching people how to do it.
Well, the benefits apply more than just in trading. It's just I think it's harder to gain.
Yeah. So if you I am the first of 5 boys. So I've had to, that's mentality has been there for as long as I can remember. Yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, real quick before we jump into some of this other meat, if you guys haven't already done so, please make sure that you fill out the form to get in the drawing for the evaluations. Let's make sure that we get you guys in there nice and early. And we're giving away 6 today, so we don't want to miss out on that opportunity. All right, so cool. So let's talk a little bit about kind of where you're going from here. So now you're coaching. And if somebody wants to know more about what you're doing and what you're coaching, they can reach out to you on Instagram, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, just follow me and then send me a message.
Perfect. And you can see the Instagram there at Stefan.Urkel.
Yes.
On Instagram. So go ahead and follow him, reach out to him, and he can guide you on how to get to him if you're interested in looking at taking a look at that. I appreciate that. So now moving forward, of course, you're still working because you're working from home. Right? Yes. You're still trading because you have this system in place that allows you to basically only pay attention when it counts and walk away
when it counts. Exactly.
Which is mind-boggling. Walking away.
Trade. But it's such a unique system that I'd be bored.
Right.
Without my full-time job, I'd be like,
certainly.
This is such a good system that I don't need to stress out. I rarely have any heartache or any stress about it. It's just boom, 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 criteria met, boom, entry, win or lose, done.
Let it roll, and then go check your profits at the end of the day.
Yep, exactly.
So where do you go from here? I mean, what is your growth path at this point as a trader, as a coach, as an employee with the company that you work for? What does the future look like for you based on everything that's come to fruition so far?
The future, Gates, I'm young. I'm 31. I got at least 30 years of sanity left in me before I start losing it.
We're not 31 anymore.
So God willing, I continue doing this for the next 30 years, get to a point where I can retire early and just continue trading and just enjoy the early retirement, spend time with my family, my kids. I want to be able to, my parents paid for my school tuition in college. I don't have any student loans, and I want to do the same for my kids, for both of them. I want to do the same, make sure they don't have any student loans at all, pay for their entire tuition when they go to college, and they can have that, freedom, and also create generational wealth. I really want to create some good generational wealth.
That's, what, and I know that for a lot of people is almost feels like the impossible in this day and age with inflation, this, and the markets that, and everything that really, when you look at the world in a very blinders sort of way, it's easy to lose faith in the system. But I think we have here is proof that the system still works. It may just look a little different than it used to.
Right.
And sometimes it just requires the ability to, instead of just having that single one job income or the second job being something that takes away from the first or is an off time, like you mentioned, like an Uber Eats or something like that, is having an opportunity to basically combine the two in a way that allows you to get more benefit out of that time. And when it comes to trading, of course, have that opportunity to scale literally infinitely. I don't know, infinitely, but as much as you're really going to be capable of doing to create that opportunity for yourself. And I think that's really where we are at this point, is you have to create that opportunity for yourself. Nobody's coming to save us. We have to do it on our own.
Exactly. Right on. Well,
listen, thanks for hanging out with us today. This has been very insightful. This is definitely some stuff that I might be reaching out to you and getting some insight on how you set some of this stuff up, because the ability to do so without completely taking, okay, here's my trading time and here's my work time. There's just such an appeal to this style of trading. And I'm still, like I said, I'm blown away by the whole walking away thing.
Right. Yeah.
See a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see.
Right. And before we end, Nicole, I just want to give just a shout out to my mentor. His name is Kyle Henrys. Awesome guy. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today with this.
There he is.
He's the one who opened up a whole world of opportunity for me.
That's awesome, Kyle. Thanks for joining us. And obviously, that was that was quite the plug. Obviously, what you taught him is working, and now you've got him, helping out new and up and coming traders as well. So thank you for doing that. As I understand, most of the content on there is at no cost, which is amazing as well. I know that's not necessarily the norm in this world.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Awesome. So we have some winners for today. Body, Rick, Jonathan V, David, Suki, and Paul. I really hope that I pronounced all of those correctly, but just keep an eye out in your email over the next couple of days. You'll get instructions on how to get those evaluations set up and take full advantage of the opportunity. If you want to share some of that opportunity and reach out to Stefan and see if that might be a good mesh or a good fit for you, definitely do that. Kyle, thank you so much for providing the platform that has actually just led to this. So that's awesome as well. And I want to tell you guys, we've got an awesome show for you guys coming up next week. I don't want to let too much of the cat out of the bag, but we have a big time milestone trader with Apex Trader Funding. One of those milestones that I don't know if before him was ever hit by a funded trader, but I know it certainly was the first with Apex Trader Funding. And you're not going to want to miss that. There's going to be some great content there, some great opportunities to learn something, pick something up. And as always, we're going to try to have a little fun. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. Stefan, man, it's been awesome having you on the show. I loved it.
Likewise, Gates.
And we definitely want to keep in touch. Let me know how things are progressing. And like I said, I think that might be a great opportunity to reach out to you and see what you guys are doing over there. And
yeah, man, there's some really cool stuff.
Well, awesome. I love it. Thanks so much. I appreciate y'all. That's it for today. We'll see you on next week's Trader Bacon Show.
Welcome to the Trader Bacon Show, where we show